Hey guys, Levelcap here, and we're nearing the end of September, which for Battlefield 5 means quite a few things. Many things were promised to launch during September, and with basically about a week left to go, there's a lot of stuff that we should be seeing. First of all, the 4.6 patch. It does appear that the development team is working on getting the 4.6 patch out this month, although they've been a little bit less communicative about it than they have with other patches. First of all, the patch notes are not yet out, and we don't have a firm release date for the patch. A This Week in Battlefield post has not been made this week, letting us know what's going to happen, which means that I think the patch has not been officially locked in, as in there could still be some problems with it, there could be some delays. It sounds like the dev team is working on it. Hopefully we'll be getting that 4.6 patch this week and not like Monday, or hopefully not bumped into next month. Now, along with what is rumored to be a fairly extensive patch with many gameplay fixes and balance changes, we're also supposed to be getting Operation Underground. Now, Operation Underground is the spiritual successor to Operation Metro, which has been featured in previous Battlefield games and has been a very popular map, something that I think would make a good appearance in Battlefield 5. This map was promised for September and is supposed to come out with the 4.6 patch or perhaps a few days after it, but we should be getting it this month according to official posts from DICE. The map has been playable at certain events like Gamescom, and the things that have been said about it have been very positive. So this is something definitely worth looking forward to. It's also going to launch with the standard game modes Conquest, Team Deathmatch, Breakthrough, and Squad Conquest, and allegedly coming later for a limited time event, there will be a Rush mode as well. Now, according to the official Battlefield 5 roadmap posted on the Battlefield website, we will also be getting the private server feature this month. Now, there are some inconsistencies on this roadmap with what was officially later posted. For example, they show Operation Underground slated for October, where later it was posted that it will be coming out in September, so the release date was bumped up. But the private server is still, I guess, as far as official word goes, slated for this month, but we have not heard anything about this from the DICE development team, at least not for quite some time. So that does also give me a bit of concern as to, are we actually getting it this month? Is it something that they're just trying to not draw attention to because they're not done with it? It's not meeting their standards. Now, generally referred to as RSP, which stands for Rental Server Program, DICE is rebranding this as Private Games. And some of the cool functionality about it is that, one, you can create a private game for free, where before you had to pay for your own rental server and then start messing around with the settings. Now you can just make a game for free that can be publicly viewable, publicly joined by anybody. You can invite your friends in, and as long as you're in the server or playing it, it will exist in the server browser so people can join it. And there's going to be a lot of core functionality to changing the game rules and messing with it. So there's a lot of people out there that have wanted, say, like a hardcore game mode. And DICE, I don't think, is going to officially support a hardcore game mode in Battlefield 5, but the private games feature should allow you to create your own hardcore server, essentially, with higher damage values. You can turn off elements of the UI, you can turn on or off health regen. All that kind of functionality will be built into the private game mode. So it sounds very powerful in terms of what you can do. Obviously, creating your own custom playlists and stuff with maps and whatnot. I believe you'll also be able to save certain settings as well, so that if you create your favorite hardcore game mode setting, you can then just save that. So if you want to recreate that private server again, you can do that. It all sounds actually really exciting, and like DICE is taking a really good approach to this. The downside is that we just haven't heard anything about it in a very long time, and developers seem to be pretty quiet about it and or just not discussing it at all. I'd imagine because, well, we're probably going to see a delay with it. It's hard to say. Maybe I'll have to eat my words on that one, but we really don't have that much time before the end of the month when this allegedly was supposed to come out. Now, as I said before, we don't yet have an official 4.6 patch notes, but we do have some info that was posted on the Trello board about what's being fixed and stuff that we should be able to expect in the 4.6 patch. And also, we have a little bit of an idea on what is being focused on for 4.6. Apparently, MMG meta is a big focus. Apparently, there were some MMG meta issues, especially on the new Operation Underground map, that was taken as sort of the core feedback, and that was going to have to change in order for the map to be more enjoyable. And so I think DICE is working on some significant MMG changes. The last patch increased the first shot recoil on medium machine guns, which I think was a good first step. But I'm hoping this patch will further look at MMG deployment times, especially on things like ledges, perhaps making them quicker, and perhaps making the recoil even a little bit harder to control on some of these things, making them more skill-based weapons and more reliable weapons in terms of overall deployment. I think that could help make them a little bit more diverse in terms of how you play with them, rather than just setting up in a bush and waiting for somebody to cross your path. Creating an environment in which you could use these weapons a little bit more aggressively would be very interesting and fun for me. Also, one of the things mentioned is further working on performance improvements for the game, trying to get rid of those micro stutters, performance stutters, assignment related performance issues. That kind of stuff is still a priority, and hopefully we'll be seeing a lot of new changes and updates within this patch. When it comes to bug fixes and all the stuff that's being tracked on the Trello board, which allegedly will be coming in this patch, we've got the ping fixed. So the increased ping for all players, which we're seeing right now. I haven't seen a ping lower than 60 since the last patch came out, which is totally insane. And playing on East Coast has put me at plus 100 ping, which is really, really crazy right now for Battlefield 5. That should be fixed in the next patch. Problems with looting on dead bodies in Firestorm should be fixed. Lots of map-specific issues of players getting stuck behind things, invisible collision stuff. That should be looked at and refined a bit more. Assignments on certain weapons like the S2-200 proficiency should be updated to have correct criteria. Aerodrome is adding an out-of-combat area on top of the airplane hangar, so that should prevent tanks and soldiers from getting up there and kind of abusing that position on the map. Repair requests are now getting a new wrench UI icon instead of the tank icon. Players activating a request ride command will now show a vehicle icon instead of a tanker icon. Tank weapons and abilities heads-up display is now properly shown without players needing to basically use them or switch them in order to see what you have equipped. Now, issues and balance changes that I haven't seen mentioned in a while, which I think are honestly getting kind of swept under the rug because I don't think DICE really knows what to do with them, would be further visibility improvements. Visibility, although having seen a lot of changes, still isn't great in Battlefield 5. I think for the most part, the community that has stuck around with the game has just sort of learned to live with it, but I've always felt like that's a shitty compromise, basically. You know, it's like, hey, we've gotten used to just not being able to see players. It's like, okay, well, let's keep pushing DICE on that one, trying to get visibility in a better state. Also, vehicles. You know, vehicles are still in a pretty not great state right now in terms of airplane combat, airplane versus ground combat, tank combat. It's all still extremely rough around the edges in terms of balance and fun gameplay mechanics. So that would be something that I would like to see DICE again readdress. These are all things that have been said in videos from long ago talking about the meta and how to make it more fun and enjoyable like it has been in previous games. And then, of course, there's still the assignment system, trying to work on something to allow players to allow them to switch assignments while in-game, having assignments auto roll over to the next tier of assignments so you don't have to manually equip the next one, and just the general assignment writing being a little bit more focused on standard gameplay mechanics rather than very specific odd ways of playing the game. That could use a complete overhaul and a very big update. So there's a lot of legacy issues, old issues that people have really stopped talking about as much recently because I think we're sort of focused on the next thing, you know, new content, the Pacific DLC, all that stuff is sort of taken center stage. But I'm hoping DICE has not forgotten about a lot of the underlying problems with Battlefield 5. Anyway, there's a lot that DICE has said that they're going to bring before the end of the month. Whether they said it months ago or they've said it more recently, there's a lot that you should be expecting and should be hoping for and should be holding DICE accountable for if they don't release it by the end of September. So I don't know what to say because I feel like this stuff is going to get delayed just because of history, because of what I'm used to with this game so far. I'm not saying it is getting delayed for sure, but I don't know. I'm sitting here wondering, like, why aren't we getting updated on anything? There's only a week left, basically, and they haven't said anything. It's been like radio silence from DICE in a little bit, and yeah, we're just sitting here twiddling our thumbs. So I'm right there with you guys, wondering what we're getting before the end of the month. Thanks for watching. As always, I'll keep you updated if we get anything new, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap, signing out.